Let's take a look at this 2000 Toyota 4Runner overlanding camper SUV. And let's start off with the sleeping setup. So in the back, we have a bed platform with over-the-leg storage. The over-the-leg storage lets you sit up inside of the camper. I'm 5'10" and I have a reasonable amount of space here with my head. Like if I sit straight up, it'll touch a little bit, but slightly hunched, it's fine. And you can always lean back against this chair, and yeah, it's really spacious. In terms of the length of the bed, I'm 5'10" and I can comfortably fit without my toes even touching the bottom and comfortably sleep here. And as you can see, this is actually built for 2 people, so there's enough space here for a couple to sleep comfortably. It's mostly just twin size mattress, but on this driver's side, I built this extension so that you do have quite a bit of extra space, and this person can kind of shift over here. I didn't build that on the other side, and my wife and I have plenty of space to sleep here. While we're back here, it's worth talking about all the other storage that we have here inside the sleeping setup. So we have identical drawers here with little lockers so that they don't slide forward when you're driving. And these are actually quite deep. You can keep a lot of your toiletries, usually keep a headlamp in there, other various things. That's been super convenient just for nighttime stuff. And now it's locked, won't slide. And then above here, we'll talk about these bins when we go to the back, but you can actually get them out up front here too if you need to access them. And they have a little lip that keeps them in so they don't slide forward when you're driving, even when off-roading or braking quickly. And finally, we have a little snack bin over here that just kind of like magnets in place there. And on the left, we keep our toothbrush and toothpaste, easy to access in these little bags. And this trash can here, you can take it off, so you don't need to keep it here. And then there's side storage on each of these sides, and some under storage here too. While we're here, let's talk about the fridge setup. So this is actually a folding mattress, and it folds up here, and the fridge is right under here. So this fridge actually has quite a bit of space in it. There's a chopped salad there, yogurt, 2 sparkling waters, salsa, and a half-size milk container usually fits. So it's actually pretty reasonable, and it's got a Bluetooth app, and it's worked out quite well. And then right next to that, we do have some shades for the front window. And then over here for the driver, we have some power cables. And this is where I keep a little fan so that we can actually set up a fan when sleeping here. And over on the passenger side, since we don't have a fridge, we have this under storage here, which can hold some pop out foldable chairs. It can also flip up to more easily access that, and this can even slide in there if you need to store something even bigger and taller, and then just keep this flipped up. And then it provides a nice, really sturdy platform to sleep on. And then additionally, underneath here on both sides, we have identical storage bins. So they're actually quite big, not super deep, but you can easily store like some radios in here, some other small little appliances. And just left of that is where I usually keep our window covers. These window covers, or window screens actually, bug screens, they're really useful for sleeping when it's hot out and you want to get the windows down. So I just roll the window down and put that over and close it, and now no bugs can get in, but we still got free air flowing. And usually on the driver's side, I put my fan right next to that so it can actually suck in additional air. And rounding out some of the storage aspects, we've got the rooftop box, which has been really convenient for keeping some gear up here so that you don't have to keep gear in your sleeping setup, and then you're always ready to sleep. Now let's check out the back where we have all of our cooking setup and some additional storage. So we have this quick fold down table. There we go, it's already set up. It can actually hold quite a bit of weight. These storage bins, they just slide right out, and these are the Cydio crates, so you can actually adjust where these dividers are. We found those to be quite nice for storing food. You have a spice rack here that also pulls out, so we keep our spices out front, and they actually don't ever bounce out of place when you're driving. And then behind that we have various different kitchen utensils, some more spices, some cutting knives. And then on the right side, we have our induction stove. So this induction stove is powered by this EcoFlow power station battery here. It's a 1,000 watt-hour battery. I'll just click to turn on the AC power, and then the stove will turn on. And here we have our whole cooking drawer. So we just pull this out, and this actually stays closed and locked in place when the table's up. So putting it away is super easy. We have cooking pots here, so 2 different sizes, smaller one, bigger one, and these pots have a nice little attachable handle, so that makes it even more compact. And then on the left here, we actually have a water setup, so we'll fill up some water there. And then I can show you about how long it takes to boil enough water for probably like 2 people for oatmeal. Just turn it on max sear. And the beautiful thing about induction is it doesn't matter if it's windy out or anything, this works just as well. Gas stoves, it's kind of really tough when it's windy, so we've really loved this induction setup. And there we go, we got water at a boil. So talking a little bit more about what we have in this drawer, we have our can opener, we have some hand soap back here, we have 2 different Scrub Daddy sponges, dish soap, hand sanitizer that you can just spray right there, our cooking oils, both avocado and olive oil, some scissors to open various bags when cooking, a cutting board. And then further back here, we have our non-stick skillet, induction capable, and a hot pad. So this slide out has worked really well. Stores quite a bit of stuff, slides easily in and out. And around the back side, we do have a dish towel for doing the dishes. And then that just sticks in and kind of air dries there. And on the left side, we talked about the water setup. So it stores right there with a magnet, snaps on right here. You can double click to turn it on, wash your hands, single click to turn it off, turn it around to fill up some pots. Or I also have another spot right here where it can set up. If you need to fill up a Nalgene, it gets it just high enough so that you can turn it on, and then you don't have to hold it over the edge to fill it up. And the water tank for that is just stored right below here, easy to get out and get in, and it just snaps on with this typical style adapter. So you can go take this out, fill it up in a normal kitchen sink. It fits in most places to fill up, so really convenient. And then also behind here, you might be able to see we have some paper towels here. So rip out a paper towel, use that for the dishes. That's been really helpful and handy. And then finally, you might be noticing this other drawer. So this one's purpose built for climbing gear. So it pulls out, and as you can see, there's tons of rock climbing gear. We got our quick draws, we got a full double set of cams, and I really like the setup of having it a lot cleaner, easier to see everything and find everything than a bin. I can really easily see, yep, there's my 2 greens, my 2 purples, my 2 reds, yellows, blues. So it's been really convenient, and it's actually not as noisy as you'd think it would be. I put in some padding and everything so that it's not clanking around, and it's been really convenient. And above that, we do have some tea storage there. Last thing I didn't mention is we have a few little plates up there, and those again don't move anywhere as long as this is closed. So let's put this back away. All we have to do is just fold it up and turn off that stove battery, and the door just holds everything closed flush. So let's talk about the power setup in this car. So we've got the 1000 watt hour EcoFlow battery in the back that runs most of the things, and then I do have a separate little 200 watt fridge battery that gets charged by the EcoFlow, and then there's the solar panel on the top, a 100 watt solar panel, and then finally up in the front we have a special battery. Let's check that out. So up in the front we have a 1620 watt hour Dakota lithium starter battery. So this is both the car's starter battery and primary battery, and it also helps charge the whole system. So this battery gets charged by the alternator and charges really quickly, and it's an insanely big battery, even bigger than the main EcoFlow in the back there. And then we have that hooked up to the EcoFlow to kind of trickle charge at about 170 watts. And it has a limiter on it so that if this battery gets to about like 30 or 40%, it'll cut off and stop draining it, so you're never going to run out of power here. And finally, the solar panel actually directly charges this battery, and then that eventually makes its way back to the EcoFlow. This setup has been working really well. It's completely thought-free, and I've always had power and have had plenty of power to cook. If you're driving like 20 minutes, you're gonna get back a lot of power. You get back some with the 100 watt solar panel, and yeah, it's been really awesome. The final last thing about sleeping, we do have blackout shades. So I permanently have the 3 in the back, these 2 side windows, and the rear window always blacked out, and that just kind of keeps some privacy for all the gear and everything. It's not as obvious what you have in here, but we do have all 4 blackout windows, so if you're camping in the summertime and need to go to bed earlier before sunset, these just snap right in place and have been really useful in the summertime. Now that it's all blacked out in here, let's talk about lighting. So I've upgraded these to LED lights, so those are super bright, and since we have the upgraded car battery, these can last for ages, forever. And then on each side we have these little push dome lights. Those are a little bit dimmer but pleasant when it's dark out. And then finally in the back, it'll be tough to see in the daylight here, but we got these 2 really bright rechargeable LED lights, and those provide a ton of light for when you're cooking out here in the back in the dark at night or in the morning. Now let's talk about some of the driving amenities. So we have a little bit more storage here with a sunglass holder case there. Obviously your glove box. Here we got an Nalgene size cup holder adapter. Really have loved that. And then have 2 phone chargers here with MagSafe iPhone adapters, so you can just stick your phone on there and wirelessly charge. And then we have one of my favorite upgrades to an old 4Runner, this Autoto S8 Ultra Plus. It's a 10.1 inch touchscreen display, and it has wireless Android Auto. That's been super nice. And this one actually sticks out a little bit more of the case because these cars came with really small radios, but you can still shift normally. Your hand never touches the screen. And then we've got a backup camera here. So since I can't see out of the back, this makes it super useful, and you can see so much. This is as good as our new Subaru 2021. The only thing you don't get is like the steering indicators, but otherwise this is just as good. So this has been really worth it, and it does slightly cover up some of these air controls, but you can still pretty easily access them. The toughest is just spinning the temperature dial. You usually have to like get your hand in there multiple times to turn it, but having that screen is so worth it for safety, and it angles up higher so you can see it way easier, and it is a huge upgrade that is so worth it. And the final thing we get here with this new upgraded display is we actually have a Bluetooth OBD sensor, so we can see the car's info, and it'll actually track your fuel efficiency and estimate how much fuel you have left, so you can actually know how many miles you can go, because these old cars, they didn't have range estimators or anything like this. And one last hidden feature here for when you're trying to figure out if you're level when you're camping, I got a little level hidden in this compartment. And finally, let's end on some off-roading features, because this is the whole reason you'd get a truck like this and have a camper setup. So first of all, we have a ARB air compressor. That's also for the rear locker, but that means you can inflate your tires. So just pop the hood, pop in the air compressor, and then get inflating. And the cool thing about the updated big battery is you don't have to have your engine running while you're inflating all your tires. It's got plenty of battery. And then as mentioned, we have that rear ARB air locker. So that's on top of the normal four-wheel drive. We've got a rear locker. And finally, we have a 1.5-inch suspension lift kit on it. Some Old Man Emu springs, and then 1-inch bigger tires compared to stock. So overall, about 2.5 more inches more of clearance, bring it up to about, I think, like 12.5 inches of clearance on this 2000 4Runner. And it's been super capable off-road. It's really awesome. Even though it's got all those off-road features, it still drives great on the road. I didn't go with the ridiculous lift because it still gets a lot of road mileage. Gas mileage, it's at about 19.3 average across highway and city. So it's actually quite good. And yeah, it's one of the few manual transmissions out there. And this camper setup's worked really well. I've gone through like 2 or 3 different builds on it, and this is the final one that it has like everything I've wanted in an SUV camper, and I would definitely build it again.